All right, I will call the meeting to order, but first I have to read the governor's statement. Pursuant to Governor Baker's March 12th, 2020 order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law, GLC 30A, section 18, and the governor's March 15th, 2020 order imposing a strict limitation on the number of people that may gather in one place, this meeting of the Great Barrington Affordable Housing Trust Fund will be conducted via remote participation to the greatest extent possible. Specific information and the general guidelines for remote participation by members of the public and/or parties with a right and/or requirement to attend this meeting can be found on the town's website. For this meeting, members of the public who wish to listen to the meeting may do so by following the Zoom link on the agenda. No in-person attendance of members of the public will be permitted, but every effort will be made to ensure that the public can adequately access the proceedings in real time via technological means. In the event that we are unable to do so, despite best efforts, we will post on the town's website an audio or video recording, transcript, or other comprehensive recording of proceedings as soon as possible after the meeting. So first order of business is approval of the minutes. Can I have a motion?
Move to accept the minutes.
And a second by Larissa. I do have a correction, Shep.
Yes.
On page 2, you have Habitat's proposal is for 10 to 14 single-family residential units. I believe that is 14 to 20
Yes.
residential units. It didn't necessarily specify single-family.
14 to 20. That's 14 to 20 residential.
Residential units.
Yeah.
Any further discussion? Roll call vote. Garfield.
Aye.
Larissa.
Aye.
John.
Yes.
And Fred.
Aye.
And I. So that's unanimous. Next up is any further discussion on Habitat's proposal for the development of the property on North Plain Road. I gotta unmute Caroline. Do we have any questions for Habitat? Anyone from the board? Any concerns about this at this point? I know we've gone over it quite a bit.
None for me.
None for me.
Same here.
Okay.
I was very pleased with the presentation at our last meeting, and I'm satisfied with the responses that we received and are recorded in the minutes we just approved. So I'm very pleased that Habitat has presented a proposal.
Okay, well then, who would like to make a motion that we accept Habitat's proposal?
So move that we accept Habitat's proposal for the development of the Alden property.
About a second.
For second,
Okay. Any further discussion? Okay. Roll call vote then. Garfield.
yes.
Larissa.
Yes.
And John.
Yes.
Fred.
Yes.
And myself, yes. Congratulations, Ms. Carroll.
Thank you very much. We're ready to start planning. Actually, on Thursday, we're starting to put together our South County Housatonic Planning Committee. So if anybody that's on the line right now is interested in joining that committee, please feel free to reach out to me because we would love to have you.
Okay. So next on the agenda, we have marketing. I sent around the proposal from Silo Media. I had asked them to put something together. They're not going to be able to be here tonight. But I thought we could at least discuss whether or not, is there something, I think it might be Shep. Yeah. Shep, you got noise. Is there something, so I basically would just like to see if we have sort of an agreement on the board that we need to market the down payment assistance program. I know Gina said she just discovered it through Construct's website, and it seems like we really should do some marketing on that.
I didn't know, this is Garfield. I wasn't sure if it was something we needed. I didn't know we were having an issue that way. Or it was something, I don't even remember us speaking about, saying, darn it, we're not getting enough airtime, if you will, or not getting enough space in the newspapers, or et cetera, or nobody knows who we are. So
Yeah.
we haven't, so I'm a little skeptical about spending the money. If it's something we don't really need, if it's not a problem, unless somebody already brings it up to our face and says, oh, you have a problem. And then we say, yeah, we do. So
Yeah, well,
I'm not sure if we do.
I think that's
I
what
don't know if
Gina
we
was
do.
saying, was that, you know, what we've been relying on really is the real estate agents and the bankers. But my guess is if someone doesn't have enough money for a down payment, they're probably not going to be going to a real estate agent or a banker. But perhaps if they knew that they could get some assistance with down payment, they might be more inclined to either contact us first, see what the deal is, or bring that to a bank and say, I qualify for this, so what do you think? So I'm
Couldn't
thinking,
we do that with less expenses? Do we have any money that we could just do? We could even do a day somewhere, or put out something and just post us all somewhere in town and let them know. I don't know, Bill. I'm concerned about spending that amount of money.
we've got about $6,000 left in our initial funding for the town that we could use some of it for marketing. We don't have to spend a lot of money. I just put this, I had Beth put the proposal together just so we'd have some basis of what things would cost.
Mm-hmm.
I think we really can't just do a one-time thing. I think we did some advertising.
Right, 3 months, I think.
Yeah, we did some advertising in the Shopper's Guide, but we were using space ads. And those are expensive. We did a few, and there was really no response. Given the amount of money we were spending, it didn't seem worth it. It was, you know, $150 every other week or something. And
how long ago did we do that? Do you remember? I don't remember.
I believe that was right when we first started the program. I mean, we did get a lot of very nice publicity from the press for a while.
So that's like 2 or 3 years ago then, right?
It was 2 or 3 years ago, and I think it's sort of fallen by the wayside. So I think even on social media, if we could get some things out on the local bulletin boards and just something on a regular basis to remind people that there's money available to buy a house.
Yeah. The idea of the short film, I checked out some of her short films, and I've worked with Beth before, so I know her work. Seems like a good idea for us. And she had, I think, $2,000 in here for them to do the Facebook postings.
Yeah.
But if we decided to spend the money on the video, we could do the postings.
Yeah, all that takes time, but we could do it.
Right. Well, I like the video idea, and I am not objectional to spending a little bit of money to get the word out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it's important that we get the word out, because I've run into, in the last 2 weeks, I've run into 2 couples that didn't even know we existed, and they were looking for mortgage help. But I think it would,
May I just make an analogy, if you will?
Sure.
I guess, you know, it seems I'm always a little less likely to want to spend money if we can do things ourselves. But I've been doing the Relay for Life for 1,000,000 years. We did a tag sale this past year, and there was a woman right across the street who had not heard of us. Now, we've advertised up and down forever on the radio. We're always on the radio. And you still have people that don't know, so it's not going to always, there's always going to be somebody, I guess, who doesn't know. So I don't think everybody's going to get it all the time. So that was my thought of maybe us doing something ourselves, or using the money a little differently, or like maybe Larissa said, doing it ourselves, maybe spending a little but not spending a lot. But I'm just saying that sometimes people just don't hear, read, or listen, or whatever, pay attention.
This is Fred. I think that we need to do some sort of an outreach, but I think it maybe needs to be broader than just this is a program. I think it needs to be an outreach to people who might be just below that threshold to buy a house. To maybe Carolyn could help with some advice on this, but we need to tell people that it's possible to buy a house still, and we need to show them how to do it. And I don't know whether this is the appropriate vehicle to do that.
Right.
But
right.
I really don't think we need to be quite as narrow as saying, hey, there's this down payment assistance program. I think our scope is a little broader than that. The down payment assistance program is one of the tools that we can use and apply, but there are many others. And, is it our role to facilitate that ability to pull it together, to get to the point where you can, realize the dream of owning a house?
Yeah, this is an avenue we really haven't touched on, so maybe I hope we don't have to come up with a decision this evening.
No, I just wanted to talk about it and think we should move forward on something.
Mm-hmm.
I think it would be a good idea if we could wait until we hear from Beth as to what she would contemplate doing for us, because I think it is, I think it is something that we should be doing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Construct is still running into the problem of people who don't know what they do or who they are.
Yeah.
So I have a question about the proposal. The proposal, if I can pull it up here, the proposal talks about spending time building on 1 to 3 social media platforms and creating content. Where does that content come from? How much is it? Are we talking about a single line thing? Are we talking about, reposting articles that are already out there? Or how do we generate new content is the question.
Yeah. When things happen, like someone gets down payment assistance, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know if content is really what we need more than just getting the word out that trust exists and has some resources for people.
The proposal is for getting the word out. It's not for creating content, I don't think.
Right. So any content would probably come from us.
Larissa, do you have a better handle on how the proposal works?
Well, we can maybe talk to her about what she had in mind for promotional materials for the film or for the films, but would it be possible for us to have small interviews with the people who have received down payment assistance from us?
Well, I think Ina is the only one who was willing to go public, essentially. The other people who have gotten the down payment assistance have preferred to keep their privacy, and I think we need to respect that.
How many are there? 3?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think we talked about this before, actually, which is why we do it. So maybe we need to brainstorm a little bit about content at a next meeting or something.
Yeah, I'd like to devote more time to it. I'd like to have Beth come in. Carolyn, you seem to have your hand up.
Yeah, what I was gonna, I think it is a good idea to have Beth come in directly, but I think to Fred's point and Garfield's point is, do you want to tell the story of housing in Great Barrington in South County, right? So that will help create a lot of that content, and then they would be able to do Facebook posts off of that and Instagram off of that, not necessarily Twitter stuff. But I think if you think about this all as being a partnership with housing in the Berkshires.
Mhm.
You could ask a convening, and there's already some convenings going on. Both Jane, June, and I are in a group that's talking about countywide housing. So maybe you could pool some of your assets with some of the assets that some of us are going to be using to get a bigger and better impact by working together. So you wouldn't have to use
Get a
all of
bigger
your
impact.
money. And, you know, let's talk about it as a strategy of promoting affordable housing and getting people to come into the community to live, work, and play. I just think that that might be a good thing, and I would be happy to serve on a subcommittee or task force or anything you would want, you know, to at least represent Habitat's interest. And, you know, I do have a bit of a broad knowledge of housing in general. I know June and Jane do as well, so I'm not going to speak for their time commitment, but I think looking at it from a broader lens is going to get you more of what you want than just the home buyer assistance.
Yes, can you tie me into that group?
I would love to do that.
Okay.
I'm going to make a note of it right now so it doesn't get forgotten.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense that, you know, we have a few things to offer, but we certainly aren't the only housing thing in the South County or in the Berkshires.
Yeah, and when you go back to it and you start looking at the proposal again, we need to broaden it from just the down payment assistance. I mean, what we're talking about here is spending, you know, the proposal appears to be spending like a year on promoting that one program, and it really needs to be more than that, because quite frankly, you'd be repeating yourself and running out of ideas after a few months.
Yeah, I think repeating yourself is not altogether bad. I did ask them specifically for something to market the down payment assistance program, so that's why it's sort of stated that way. But yes, we could have them. I think eventually we will issue an RFP or something.
Well, Bill, I'd like to schedule one of our future meetings, maybe in the winter or in the late winter, to go back and sort of, you know, go into a sort of a brainstorming session about what other kinds of ways that we can work through this committee to promote affordable housing here. I think that, you know, we have a role that we can do, and we really should, I believe, be the catalyst and the conduit for a lot of the affordable housing information and coordination in Great Barrington from the town's point of view.
I agree.
Yeah, certainly from the town's point of view, yes.
You know, maybe we could talk to Chris and ask him to attend, or and look at an update of the, you know, the status of affordable housing. What's happened since the last time we?
Yes. Well, there is a new housing plan.
There is?
Yes. I can send that around and we can have a discussion around that too.
Yes, and I'd like to look at, you know, the Berkshire Realtors information that they publish annually. I think that's a valuable resource.
Okay.
I mean, construction's gone crazy, prices have gone crazy. Things are still very dynamic and still changing by the day. It's a crazy time, but on the other hand, you know, it's not gonna get better. Not gonna go backwards.
Right. Is there sort of a general consensus that we should do some marketing?
Yeah.
Here's that we need to. I think we should take our time, you know, a little bit.
Yeah.
Have all the information we can, and like Fred said, we're brainstorming, and Larissa said maybe we could speak with Beth.
Oh, sure.
I'm more in favor of collaborating with other housing resources there, and providing, providing some content, perhaps some curated content about our program that we haven't done in the past. I know, like WSBS had us on one time. I know that, Construct, for instance, Lee Davis had one of the people who was benefiting from the COVID relief went in and had an interview with him on the on WSBS.
Yeah.
We need to figure out where people are when they start looking for a house. Are they doing it on the internet? Are they doing it by talking to realtors, going to open houses? Are they talking to banks? Are they doing the state's first-time homebuyer programs? Are they doing all of those things? And we need to sort of, I don't know, use that as our leads, if you will, for customers.
I agree with you. Maybe we should ask to hear from Beth and Carolyn's group,
Oh, yes, absolutely.
just to get some more content. But I agree with Fred. I think we should have a brainstorm sesh.
Yeah, because we really do two things. And the question is, what else can we do? What else can we get money from the CPC for?
Yes.
I mean, that's, we provide rental assistance and we provide mortgage down payment assistance. And that's it.
Yeah. There's also a link on the website connecting people to that block grant that Egremont and Great Barrington got
Right.
for
Right.
home repairs and things.
So that's a great thing that we could talk about, in terms of generating content.
Yeah.
I believe we don't have to do everything, but that we should complement things that are going on, like that block grant for repairs. So that keeping people in their houses is another part of affordable housing, so that people don't have to look for other housing or have to be forced to sell.
So why don't I see if Beth, or if anybody knows of anyone else that does sort of that sort of, I mean, we don't really want to spend a lot of money. But I think we should consider spending something to get either some professional advice or I don't know if a video is, I'm sure that would be good, but it would have to be affordable for us, really.
If we can get some content, we can put some time into getting it out on our social media stuffs and on the community boards.
Yeah.
So I just think we need content. I think that has been our downfall from the get, sort of, so.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, like the Housatonic board would be a great place, Great Barrington board, those kinds of things. Yeah.
For sure.
Bill, I did want to make clear, it's not my group. The group that's meeting around housing is being run by Berkshire Regional Planning and One Berkshire. And I know that, I believe the town administrator for Great Barrington is one of the participants.
Mark, okay,
And
yeah.
the attorney, and I'm forgetting his name, that's also involved in affordable, or in Great Barrington. June, you know his name, June or Jane. He's involved with that as well. So you should, I think you're thinking around creating a cohesive message of all of the opportunities would reduce the cost, and also creating a collaborative way of going about this, make sure that everybody's kind of along the same page. And that will help spread out the need for the content as well. Because I know just from a habitat perspective, every week when I have to figure out what am I going to write about, I'm like, oh my God, why is there not a person that has this as a job? So I can imagine that if there was 4 or 5 groups doing it, that would cut our work down tremendously.
Yeah.
And I think it could be a big boon for the local group in housing in particular.
Okay. So we should schedule a meeting for this.
Yep, figure out what we're gonna do when we grow up.
Yes.
Right. And just so I know, or just so I can throw this out there after, but can we make sure we kind of can keep it simple, if you will? We should have everything that we need to be in there. But I know you don't want it complicated for the people who are looking, that we're trying to get to come and buy a house or whatever, and then it's like, oh my God, this is too complicated.
Yes,
If you know what I mean.
I do.
What we're saying. Our rules and regulations, whatever.
Yes, that can all be dealt with later. It's just the initial letting people know that there are
Right.
funds available and help
Yep.
available.
Well, so I meant, let's word that so it's easy to understand. That's all.
Indeed. Okay.
I have a question.
Yes.
And I hope, I just got my, now the computer's working now, but was this about the amount of monies, was that from today's message?
Yes.
It was brought to my attention, so we need to speak of that, don't
Oh,
we, I
no.
believe?
Yes, there is
Nope.
another thing, but it wasn't
Okay.
on the
All right.
agenda. It just happened this afternoon, so I
Yeah.
couldn't get it in the agenda. Is there any further discussion on this? I think what I'll do is send around a doodle poll, see when we can get another quorum together in a month or so, February sometime.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll ask everyone to start thinking about how to do this, and we can all just get together and explore everyone's thoughts.
Yeah.
There is one other important thing that I need to get done at this meeting, and that is when Construct sent us their invoice, it got signed off, except the contract that we had with them limited the down payment assistance to $31,000. And it was going to go over by a couple $1,000s, and I'm sure they're going to need more money. So
How we changed that?
we didn't change the actual contract. We got more money through town meeting that we can use the down payment assistance money for rental assistance as well. But we never actually changed the contract with Construct. So I would like to make an amendment to that contract. We can increase it up to an additional $15,000 without having to issue a new contract. So I would like to ask the board to approve increasing the amount of rental assistance that we're giving to Construct by $15,000.
Is that a motion?
I'll call that a motion, yes.
Well, then I'll second.
Can I ask, so this extra 15,000 would come from the money we got from town meeting, right?
That's right, that's right. I think there's actually still some money in the other account, but it would essentially be coming from that money, yes.
And
Okay,
how much was that?
Well, they freed up $100,000 that we can use either for down payment assistance or rental assistance.
But under contract law for Massachusetts, we can't unilaterally triple a contract, for instance.
That's what Chris tells me. He said we could increase it by up to $15,000, but anything beyond that, we would have to create a new contract or issue an RFP. I'm not sure. I have to talk to Chris about it. But we can increase it by an amendment to an additional $15,000, which would bring it up to $46,000.
Well, in terms of discussion, it was our intent when we asked town meeting to authorize the expense that additional money be used for this.
Exactly.
For the rental assistance program that Construct is administering. and that we, the town of Great Barrington, through the Affordable Housing Trust, is providing. So in my view, it's consistent with what we wanted to do. It's necessary, as you know, we're now in what, 9 months, 10 months? I can't even remember now.
Yeah. Okay.
Of our living year. Anyway, it's consistent, and I think we should do it.
Okay.
Bill, how much have we done so far?
I believe I have the numbers right here. Hold on. From our funds, 33,275,
Okay.
which of course is a couple of thousand over what the contract says.
But I'm sure that it's much less than the grants that have been made to people in Great Barrington. I know that June and Construct have been very successful at leveraging that money and getting other state money and grant money.
The total rental assistance in Great Barrington was over $55,000. But they're also, giving rental assistance all over South County, as far as I know, yes.
Yeah, they really are.
So, I had a motion. Did I get a second? I believe.
Yes,
Fred
I second it.
Second it.
So any further discussion? Okay, roll call vote then. Garfield,
Aye.
Larissa,
Aye.
John,
Yes.
Fred,
Aye.
and I. So we'll go forward with making that amendment. I think we should also.
Construct for pulling that plan together. It appears to be a model of community support. Thank you, June.
Yes, thank you.
Thanks for noticing. I'll pass that on to everyone.
Please do.
Okay. I'm assuming you're going to be needing more money.
Yes. I think we're, I don't think Jane's still on the call. I think she had to leave, but I think we're tapped out, actually.
Okay, so I'm going to propose that we issue a new contract. I don't know if we have to issue an RFP because the administrative part will be well under $10,000.
Right.
But I have to talk to Chris about how that all works. But if I can get the board's consent to issue a new contract to Construct so that we could basically use the remainder of that $100,000 if needed for rental assistance. We still have $50,000 in down payment assistance that we haven't touched.
Excuse me, could I ask a question?
Sure.
Eileen, newsletter.
Yes.
Can you do that at this meeting because it's not on the agenda?
Okay, we might not be able to do that, but we'll do that at our next meeting. Hopefully this additional funding will hold out till then. June, when do you need that money by?
I don't know. Yeah, I'm texting Jane to see it, see if I can get a date.
Okay.
You just freed up $13,000 and you probably bill in arrears. So,
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
That's should be sufficient for the time period that it'll take to get the new contract in place.
Okay. That's fine. We can have another meeting scheduled soon.
Bill, since this was approved by a town meeting, why do we need to go through all of this for a contract?
You have to have a contract.
No, but I mean,
It was approved by town meeting. The money is available, but we have to have a new contract with Construct because our previous contract only went up to $31,000.
so that I understand, but why can't we just enter into it? Not at this meeting, but why can't we just approve using up to 100,000 for the program and that's it? I don't understand quite what Chris is talking about.
We essentially can, John, but we need to put the administrative part in place. That's all.
Yeah,
You know, we have authorization to spend the money. We just need to do the administrative part to put the, you know, to dot the
Which is already in the
Q's and
contract.
I's and T's. And
I mean, we're really just amending the contract.
yes, although we can only make certain amendments, or I don't know, it has to do with 30B probably. I'd have to talk to Chris about why we need a new contract.
Ask Chris why we need a new contract. I don't understand why we need.
there's limits on what we can do in terms of amending a contract in order
Yeah.
to prevent abuse there. It's a state law.
Yeah. In any event, we don't need to do that tonight.
Well, we can't do it tonight.
No. But we can make this one amendment because all of this just happened. Emails started flying this afternoon when the bill came in, and we had already signed off on it, but then Chris discovered that the contract limited it. So that's why this had to happen tonight. So I think that's it for that. It's trustee speak time. If you have anything else, I'm going to try and speed this meeting along tonight only because lots of exciting things are happening in the country.
I thought we just want to get down there to DC.
Yes, right.
Breaking some heads, man. Maybe not.
Maybe not.
Maybe not. Restoring order.
Anybody, anything? Larissa, Fred, Garfield? John?
I'm excited to be working with Habitat, and I look forward to working out some of the details. I think we need to continue to, you know, I'm happy to accept your proposal, and I'm glad we did that. But, you know, I think that there are a few little sort of administrative details that we need to continue to talk about as we go forward. I'm looking forward to our partnership.
Good. Let's see. We could have Eileen. Did you still have something to say?
Nope, I'm all set. Thank you.
Okay. I'll open it up to citizen speak. If there's anyone that would like to speak, use the raise your hand. Not seeing anyone. Oh, Dan Bailey.
Good evening.
Hi, Dan.
Just a couple quick comments. First of all, congratulations to Habitat for their proposal and the acceptance of that. Hopefully, you're willing to work with the neighborhood a little better than this board has. And second of all, I know it's a moot point at this point, but next time you guys have a RFP that goes out and you're going to open it up, try not to have a Friday evening meeting. I think that was probably the first Friday evening meeting that wasn't like a special meeting in a very, very, very long time. And something as important as this is kind of insulting.
Well, it's the only time we could form a quorum, Dan, in that time.
Well, you formed a quorum tonight, Bill.
Yes, we did.
Yep. You could have had it tonight. Anyway, the other thing you guys, I think, need to start discussing, and it's a bigger town discussion, is why you actually need affordable housing in Great Barrington. It's the way I see it. I know you guys love going on thoughts and feelings. So my thought is there's no jobs that people can afford to buy houses in. Well, if you look at the average price of a house in Great Barrington and go by bank statistics, I think I figured it out. It's something like you need to be making like $65,000 a year in order to afford a house. Somebody on this board, please tell me where there's a job for $65,000 anywhere in Great Barrington. You're not doing it washing dishes or bussing tables. It's not happening. So you might need affordable housing, but who are the people that are coming in to fill those affordable housing? people from Springfield, Dorchester, Holyoke, they're not Great Barrington residents either. You know, because people from Great Barrington move out of here because they can't afford to live here.
Hey, Dan.
Yeah.
We actually did create a list of people who, jobs that make incomes like at 30, 40, 50, 60. And I think I have your email address, so I'm happy to send that to you.
Yeah, please do. I'm
There's,
curious.
it's, you know, I think it will warm your heart to see it because it is all the people that you need in this town. It is, you know, beginning firefighters, in this town, beginning police officers and teachers' assistants and teachers and nurses and, you know, really, really necessary, essential people in the town. So if I don't have your email address, I'll get it from Bill and I'll send it.
I think you do though. But thank you, I appreciate that. But again, I think the point is that maybe you start needing to ask the question, well, why aren't those people still living in Great Barrington then? Because I really don't think they are. Because as a teacher, I know what you get.
You're exactly right. That's the point of why we're building affordable housing, because
Right.
those people have to leave because the price was already going up a lot, and then in COVID, they basically doubled. So when you talk about affordable housing, a lot of people conflate affordable with low income.
No,
But
right.
But I'm saying that this is exactly for those people so that they can live in their town that they work in and that they grew up in.
Right, I understand that. But my point is instead of saying we're just going to build more affordable housing to satisfy that need, why aren't we looking to try to bring in better jobs so people that that's so yeah. Thank you. Yes, I do understand.
That's not our thing.
It isn't your thing, but it is through a tangent, Garfield.
Right, but
if every board starts working towards trying to bring actual jobs in here and not just, you know, saying, oh, we just want a cozy little field where there used to be an airport or something, you know, then you know, real jobs that, you know, real people.
Dan, believe me, I hear what you're saying because it's the truth. I'm probably right in there with them. I probably couldn't afford, if I had to try to live here again and move here, if I didn't live here 42 years ago and bought my home ridiculously cheap, I probably could not afford it. But I still think we do need to have something that will allow people that can afford to live here. And that's why we want to have, as I heard saying, that we want to build these homes so people will stay here. And I agree with you about jobs. It just isn't, and I'm not saying, I wasn't trying to be flippant about it, but Great Barrington housing, it's not, we're not cut out to find jobs for people. That's what I was saying. It wasn't our, we don't care about it, or I don't, I sure do.
Yeah.
It's
However,
not
Dan,
our working frame.
Yes.
Just today, the CDC SB had an economic development Zoom call. And I believe they are looking for people who are passionate about that. So I think you could contact them, and definitely they are looking for community input.
I would agree, June. I was on that call, and the next meeting is February 3rd at 2:00. And you could reach out to Allison, and they were talking about the community development economic, and there's actually some funds for small businesses right now, and they're talking about how do they implement that. So I think you're in alignment with what they're looking at. So I think that's a good connection for you, and use your passion to help keep that movement going.
All right. Well, thank you. I do want to say I do appreciate the fact that you guys are looking for affordable housing. I'm just saying that we can't just put all our eggs in one basket is all I'm saying. We have to broaden our horizons here. And I think it's going to take every board and a lot more citizen input for us to really move forward. Otherwise, we're just going to sink into, you know, we're going to become the next Nantucket in a hurry.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you.
Thanks, Dan.
Thank you. Thank you.
Anyone else for citizen speak?
And this is John. The I just got off the CDC board, but they really are going to they're putting a lot of time into just that issue. And you can call Allison Marchesi over there or email her. If you don't have her email address, I'll send it to you. She's the new executive director. And because they're going to have 45 units come on the market sometime around, if everything goes correctly, sometime around March or April at the in Bridge Street area.
Yeah.
And they just got funding for another housing project of 49 units at 910 South Main.
Oh, good. That'll make a difference. Media time. Anyone from the press have any questions?
I have one question. This is Ed Sweet. I haven't figured out how to raise my hand, so I just have a quick question before you move on to media time, if possible.
Sure.
My question is for Caroline. Actually, you mentioned about a committee, a citizens committee. How do we reach you, and if we have an interest in joining that group?
I would love it. You can reach me at cvalley@berkshirehabitat.org. And my valley is spelled VALLI.
Okay.
And look forward to it. That would be great.
Okay. And I just have one question. And you guys, you may have brought it up at previous meetings, I'm not sure, but as I listen to what's going on with the, you're looking to advertise assistance for housing and all that, but what happens if, in the event, hypothetically, if the units don't sell? Is there a chance that these units could then later be converted to rental units, or are they going to always be for ownership?
They would have to be for ownership, because to be able to be put on the local initiative program, you have to declare that in advance. So all of the documentation will be geared towards home ownership. So that's how it would be set up.
So there's no way that this will in the future ever convert to rental properties?
No.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what the rules might be 50 years from now, but I can tell you in the foreseeable future, that is not a possibility.
Do the board members agree with that statement also?
Absolutely.
Okay, all right. I just wanted to make sure there's that everyone else is on the same page with that. Okay, well, thank you for all the work you've done, and Carol and I will get in touch with you, and look forward to looking into possibly if I can squeeze some time into getting on that committee.
That'd be great, Ed. I appreciate it.
Okay.
Thanks, Ed. I didn't see anybody with media time. Nope. So
Can I just make one comment about media? I think the edge is on. I just wanted to say there's just one little typo in that last piece, that the 4-bedroom house was for a family of 6, not 5.
Noted.
got that, Terry? Okay, I'm going to send out a poll, doodle poll for the next meeting rather than try and figure that out tonight. So if there's nothing else, I'm going to adjourn the meeting. Oh, Larissa.
One question. What do I do with the recording? I just hit stop and I can email it to you?
You can email it to me, I believe, or I'll get in touch. I'll give you a Dropbox place where you can.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
Probably be a lot better. It's a big file.
Okay.
It's also going to convert to something or other. Right after you shut it off, it starts converting.
That was my question. Okay.
Yes, so I'll need the converted file. I'll talk to you afterwards.
Okay.
Work out the details. All right. Unless
Thank
there's any
you.
objection, the meeting is adjourned. Thank you all for coming.
Thank you. And
Hey,
thank you
Larissa.